안녕하세요. 제가 이 영어 원서를 20번 이상 읽고 그리고 앞에 부분을 좀 더 반복해서 낭독한 다음에 이 책의 초반 1000단어 정도를 암기해서 암송하는 영상을 3월 19일에 올렸었습니다. 그리고 이후에도 며칠 더 그렇게 하루에 한 90단어에서 100단어 정도씩 통암기 하는 거를 이어가다가 한 1500단어 정도 한 다음에 굳이 이거를 계속할 필요가 없을 것 같아서 거기서 이제 한번 멈췄었거든요. 그런데 제가 단어나 표현을 따로 뽑아가지고 정리해서 그걸 활용하는 방식을 해보려고도 했는데 저는 그렇게 따로 정리하는 게 오히려 귀찮고 시간이 더 걸리더라고요. 그래서 그냥 저는 통암기가 잘 맞는 것 같아서 다시 4월 25일부터 통암기를 시작을 했습니다. 그래서 이렇게 4월 25일, 4월 27일, 그리고 4월 28일, 4월 29일, 4월 30일, 그리고 5월 1일, 2일, 7일, 8일 이렇게 오늘까지 이렇게 했고요. 그래서 지금은 앞에 2000단어 정도까지가 외워졌거든요. 그래서 오늘 전체 복습을 2번 정도 다시 했고 그래서 다시 기념으로 2000단어 암송하는 영상을 한번 찍어 보겠습니다. 근데 지난번에 1000단어 정도 외웠던 그 분량은 여기 처음부터 이렇게 여기까지였고 지금 이제 2000단어 정도까지 외운 거는 페이지가 좀 더 늘어나서 지금 여기까지거든요. 그래서 이제 한번 시작해 보겠습니다. Frequently made excuses. Welcome to a book that will help you start $1,000,000 business in a weekend. We tend to think that we are never ready, but you are. The fact is, ordinary people start profitable businesses every single day. You don't have to be rich, brilliant, or super experienced. But you do have excuses that have held you back in the past. Never again. Here are the 10 most common and the exact chapters where we demolish them. 1. I don't have any good ideas. But you do have problems, and so do your friends and every other person in this world. That's all you need to generate $1,000,000 business ideas. After you learn the customer-first approach in Chapter 3, you will have more business ideas than you will know what to do with. 2. I have too many ideas. Choose the 3 you think will be the most fun to work with. In Chapter 4, you will learn how to use market research and a 1-minute business model to determine which of the 3 ideas has the most potential. 3. Starting a business is risky. I'm nervous about quitting my job. Risky is spending your life at a job you hate, with people you don't like, working on problems you don't care about. Don't quit your day job. Leverage the $1,000,000 weekend process in the early mornings, evenings, and weekends. Once you've validated an idea and you are playing enough to cover your minimum monthly expenses, aka the freedom number, then you can quit. I've done that twice. 4. I've started a few different businesses. They did okay, and then I lose interest. Any one of those businesses could have been what you wanted. Not starting and not finishing both come from a similar set of fears, covered in Chapter 1. You will also learn the law of 100 to help you push past resistance when you feel like quitting. 5. But how will it scale? This phrase stops you from getting your first customer. Don't think. Keep it simple and easy for yourself. Don't think about scaling. Focus on starting. Then we'll discuss scaling your business in the chapters in Part 3. Grow it. 6. I don't have enough time to create a business. Look for the processes you can automate or document parts of the business so you can hire someone to help. My productivity system, Chapter 9, allows me to run an 8-figure business, a YouTube channel, and a blog while working out daily, traveling, and so on. If it's a priority, we can make the time. 7. I need to read more books, do more research, and be totally prepared before I can really start. You will never feel 100% ready to start. You just need to start. Don't buy another book or watch another video until you've worked through this process and started your $1,000,000 business. I got you. Action time. 8. I'm broke as F. I've spent so much money and have made $0 in profit. Don't spend another dime until you've made your first dollar. The $1,000,000 weekend process requires no upfront spending. 9. I'm not great at marketing. Marketing is easy when you have a product people want. Chapter 3 shows you how to find idea, that people are excited to give money for. Then chapters 6, 7, and 8 give you the same marketing methods that I used to help me reach 1 million users in 6 months and Radical.com to reach 10,000 paying customers in 6 months. 10. I need a technical co-founder to implement AI/VR/AR/the latest technology. No, you need to make money first. Your customers don't want more software, they just want solutions. Focus on that. There are affordable ways of validating a biz without any code. Start here. After starting $8 million businesses myself, Kickflip, Gambit, King Sumo, Sandbox, Sumo, Radical, monthly 1K, AppSumo, I wanted to prove I could teach others to do the same. In trying to share the process, I realized that it consists of just a few core steps. I call these 3 steps the $1 million weekend process. 1. Find the problem people are having that you can solve. 2. Craft an irresistible solution whose $1 million plus potential is backed by simple market research. 3. Spend the money to quickly validate whether your idea is the real deal or not by pre-selling it before you build it. I knew I was onto something because early on, everyone who followed the process eventually launched a profitable side hustle or business. People like Michael Osborne, who used the 3 steps to turn his interest in real estate into an $83,000 a month consulting business. Or Jennifer Jones, who launched a $20,000 a year side hustle cookie business, Chocolate Chip for Me. Or Daniel Raffenberger, who turned working at the Apple Store into a $250,000 a year business tutoring people in how to use technology. The problem was, for every Michael, Jennifer, and Daniel, there were 1,000 entrepreneurs in my social media feeds who could never get started. It was a big mystery to me. If all the information you need to start a business is freely available, if the $1 million weekend process works if you just commit to it, why is it so hard to do for so many people? In 2013, I set out to solve that mystery and launched a course called How to Make $1,000 a Month Business. I started with a group of 5 beta testers, a programmer, a horse trainer, and 3 people with ordinary day jobs. All of whom had everything they needed to start their own business. 2 weeks after we started, I was shocked to discover the entire group practically made 0 progress. To understand what had happened, I got everyone in a room together and did some entrepreneurial group therapy, breaking down what was holding them back. It turns out it was no lack of skill, desire, or intelligence. The whole group was derailed by the same 2 fears. 1. Fear of starting. At some point, people are told entrepreneurship is a huge risk, and you believed it. You figured more preparation, more planning, and more talking to friends would help you overcome your insecurities. But that inaction only breeds more doubt and fear. In actuality, the best way to learn what we need to know and become who you want to be is by just getting started. Small experiments repeated over time are the recipe for transformation in business and life. 2. Fear of asking. Soon after starting, the fear of rejection emerges. You have some impressive skills, an amazing product, every advantage in the world, and you will never sell a thing if you can't face another person and ask for what you want. Whether you want them to buy what you're selling or help in another way, you have to be able to ask in order to get. Once you reframe rejection as something desirable, the act of asking becomes a power all its own. I helped that early group and thousands since then to overcome these blocks. And if you stick with me through this book, I'll help you overcome these fears and start your own business. From now on, everything you do in this book and after should be viewed as an experiment. This has been a profound shift for people who worry that starting a business is this big daunting thing. Experiments are supposed to fail, and should they fail, you just take what you learned and try again a little bit differently. Take me and any of the super successful entrepreneurs and side hustle champions I've met over the years. It's uncanny, but the one commonality nearly all of us share is the crazy number of seemingly random things we've tried to launch, stretching back to our childhoods. Online courses, self-published books, consulting, Airbnbs, affiliate marketing, YouTube channels, a college dating site, and many more. And for all of us, almost all of these projects failed. So what's the connection between all these random failures and the success we ultimately achieved? It's clearly not our expertise. No, it's because of our willingness to run small experiments. That we eventually succeeded is a byproduct of the fact that we just try more things, period. That's what I call creator's courage. I believe everyone is born with this courage. And for those who've lost it, this book will help you rediscover the ability to come up with ideas, starting, and have the courage to try them out. Asking. Looking back on the early years of your life, it's easy to think of scary things that became not so scary as soon as you try them. Remember the first time you tried to ride a bike, hold your breath underwater, climb a tree, walk? The messiness of such a trial and error may seem uncomfortable now, but the days when we weren't afraid to leap into the mud and dirty up our hands were when we learned the fastest and had the most fun. Leaping is all that matters. The most courageous creators just leap more, in spite of their fear. And successful creation eventually follows. If you trace back every big company to its beginning, it all started with a leap into the unknown and a tiny little experiment. Apple started as two guys who tried to build a computer kit that you can carry. Facebook started as a weekend project similar to How to Knock for college students. Tesla started as a prototype product. Tesla started as a prototype product for an electric car to convince car companies. Tesla started as a prototype of an electric car to convince car companies to go electric. Google started off as a research project. Airbnb started off in a weekend as a place to crash in someone's living room during conferences. Khan Academy started off as a set of 10-minute videos Shah Khan created for his cousins. AppSumo started as a way to get a deal on software I liked. Steve Jobs said, "Most people never pick up the phone, most people never ask, and that's what separates, sometimes, the people that do things from the people that just dream about them. You gotta act, and you gotta be willing to fail." Business is just a never-ending cycle of starting and trying new things, asking whether people will pay for those things, and then trying it again based on what you've learned. If you are afraid to start or ask, you can't experiment. And if you can't experiment, you can't do business. This isn't about willpower or self-discipline. No one is gonna nag, scold, or intimidate you into starting a business. My personal favorite way to approach starting a business is to have fun. People do all kinds of scary things in the name of fun. Entrepreneurship is no exception. Make it fun and you'll overcome the fear. So let's have some fun. Business is an amazing opportunity to learn about yourself, play with ideas, solve your own problems, help other people, and get paid all the while. Approaching it this way will free up your imagination, make you less judgy and critical of yourself, and allow you to open yourself up to the kind of playful experimentation I want you to practice. This will be the most fun, most productive weekend you've had in years. Why just a weekend? No time to chicken out. I've found from thousands of students that leaving time to a weekend, which everyone has, forces you to become inventive, focuses your attention only on the things that matter, and shows you how much more you can do with limitations. You have only 48 hours. Each chapter contains tried and tested challenges I've developed to get entrepreneurs out of their comfort zones and into the end zone. As you follow my instructions, tackle these challenges, and overcome your fears, you'll also be growing your $1 million business step by step. Here is how your $1 million business journey is structured. Part 1. Started. You will work your way through part 1 in the 3 to 4 days leading up to the weekend. These chapters will rekindle your creator's courage, preparing you to hit the ground running at the weekend. 네, 이렇게 2000단어 정도 외웠고 중간에 좀 기억이 안 나서 헤맸던 부분이 있는데 어쨌든 이렇게 마무리하겠습니다. 감사합니다.